If you've been trying every sleep hygiene tip you can find, like avoiding screens and blue light and cutting out caffeine, but you're still wide awake all night with your mind racing, here is what no one is telling you. If we haven't met before, my name is Meredith Louden. I'm a former insomniac turned sleep coach, and I help people who struggle with their racing mind at night, sleep anxiety, and trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. And I know firsthand how frustrating it can be when sleep hygiene advice doesn't work. So in this video, I'm going to explain why sleep hygiene might not be helping you and what you need to do instead to get to sleep fast, even if your mind is racing. The idea of sleep hygiene makes sense, right? Follow a list of tips to optimize your environment and your routine, and sleep should come naturally. But for many people struggling with insomnia, this doesn't capture the full picture. And here is why. Sleep isn't something that you can control directly. Sleep is a passive process. You can't force it to happen by perfecting your environment or following a strict sleep hygiene checklist. And if you've been hyper-focused on sleep hygiene, you've probably noticed that it can backfire and actually leave you feeling even more frustrated when it doesn't work. Most sleep hygiene advice is designed to help your body fall asleep from more of a physiological perspective. But insomnia isn't just a body issue, it's also a mind issue. And so if your mind is on high alert, it doesn't matter how dark your room is or how many hours have passed since your last cup of coffee. Your brain simply won't allow you to fall asleep because it perceives that staying awake is more important than sleeping. So let me explain how this works. Your subconscious mind, which I like to call your survival brain, it is designed to keep you alive, right? And when you're lying in bed with a racing mind, or you get a second wind and suddenly have energy at night, your brain is operating under the assumption that staying awake is crucial to your survival. It could be replaying past situations, running through tomorrow's to-do list, or analyzing doomsday what-if scenarios. But from your brain's perspective, these thoughts are important. And it's convinced that if it lets you sleep, that something bad might happen. And the survival brain doesn't understand logic the way that our conscious mind does. So that's why even though you consciously know that that work presentation or that awkward conversation from last week isn't a life or death situation, your brain still reacts as if it is, which triggers the body's fight or flight response, which releases cortisol into your body, which is the stress hormone. And when cortisol is released, your brain suppresses the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy and fall asleep. So the result is you're lying in bed wide awake. So if this sounds familiar, let me know in the comments, because that means that you're definitely in the right place, and the rest of this video is going to really help you get back on the right track. Here is an interesting thing to think about. The people who sleep well naturally aren't obsessing over their sleep schedule or whether they're avoiding screens for 2 hours before bed. Many of them have never even heard of the term sleep hygiene. So they're breaking all of the rules, right? To them, rules don't exist when it comes to sleep. They're not analyzing their sleep quality, and they're definitely not counting how many hours are left until their alarm goes off, right? So if sleep hygiene is all you're focusing on, it's time to rethink your approach. The key to falling asleep easily isn't about perfecting your environment or following a rigid sleep routine. It's about teaching your survival brain that it's safe to let you sleep. And here's the good news. You can reprogram your brain. That's what I did. That's how I got rid of 16 years of my own insomnia. And when I work with my clients, we focus on reprogramming the subconscious mind and retraining the brain to associate nighttime with rest and relaxation instead of problem solving or being alert. And this is what allows sleep to happen naturally without you even having to try. So, here is a simple exercise that you can start with tonight. Step 1 is to acknowledge your thoughts. So when or if your mind starts racing, don't fight it, right? Instead, acknowledge the thoughts and remind yourself that nothing needs to be solved right now. When you have thoughts in your mind, it's because your brain thinks that something needs to be done about those things that you're thinking about right now. So start reinforcing to your brain that nothing needs to be done in this moment. So that's step 1. Step 2, actually talk to your brain. I know it may sound silly, but tell your brain, thank you for trying to help me, but I don't need these thoughts right now. All of this can wait until tomorrow. Right now, it's time to rest. And then step 3 is shift your focus, like literally just get out of your head and shift your focus. So try listening to an audiobook or a guided relaxation audio to show your mind that nothing important is happening. You're allowed to just chill out, wind down, and go to sleep. So this is a really simple process you can do that starts retraining your brain to understand that nighttime is for rest, not for problem solving or staying alert. And one of the most important mindset shifts that I teach is to stop placing so much importance on your sleep. The more that you worry about it, the more that you're activating your nervous system and keeping yourself awake. Sleep isn't something you can control directly, but when you approach it with indifference and neutrality and trust that your body knows what to do, you'll start to see results. Remember, insomnia isn't really a sleep problem. You have the natural ability to sleep. It simply has to do with your brain's perception of whether resting is safe. And once you address that, you can go back to sleeping naturally without needing to obsess over your sleep hygiene or your sleep schedule. So if you're the type of person who, as soon as you take a break to relax, you feel guilty, or you can't stop thinking about everything on your to-do list, or when you close your eyes to fall asleep, your mind just floods with thoughts, this actually indicates that your subconscious mind doesn't feel safe letting you rest day or night. So this is really what I specialize in. So if this sounds like you, then make sure you watch my free masterclass, which I'll link in the description below. This is where I walk you through the 3 biggest insomnia mistakes you're accidentally making and show you my strategy to eliminate insomnia for good completely naturally without any sleep aids or supplements. So let me know in the comments, what sleep hygiene tips have you tried that didn't really make much of a difference? I'd love to hear your experience, and commenting will also help more people find this video who need it. I have lots of other videos with sleep, insomnia, and anxiety tips, so those playlists are over here. I appreciate you so much, and remember, you're more powerful than you think.